My name is Joan Vergara. Joan Michel. Yes, Michelle is my middle name. I am a photographer that focuses on fashion portraiture. I've been a photographer since I was 17. I'm currently 26 right now. My first camera that I ever owned was this Kodak point and shoot camera that my dad bought. He tried to surprise me because he knew how badly I wanted a camera, and I thought it was a DSLR, but then it actually just looked like a DSLR, but then it was just a point and shoot. So a point and shoot camera is a camera that you can't change the lenses. It just has a standard lens, and technically I didn't want that camera, but because my dad got it for me, I had to just accept it for what it is. And I got into photography from my friend who was like an older brother to me. He always showed me his camera, and I was just really intrigued by all the stuff he would tell me about it, to the point that I ended up wanting to get my own camera. I feel that I'm living my friend's dream because he was doing photography as a hobby. Maybe at one point he did feel like he thought it was going to become a career, but actually right now he's pursuing now another dream, which is being a pastry chef. And he's really proud of me. Like, he's told me that because, even though he ended up not doing a career in photography, at least he inspired me to do it, and now I'm, doing it as a career. I saved up all of my birthday money, and once I got my new camera, I photographed anything that I could capture with it. After graduating high school, I knew I wanted to go to an art school in the city, so I went to School of Visual Arts and majored in photography. This is where I learned all about analog film and studio lighting. Luckily, my dad owned a Canon AL 135mm film camera and gave it to me. After 2 years, I dropped out of school and people didn't know why I left. However, at the time, I lost my boyfriend due to suicide. I didn't know what suicide was. I didn't know that someone could do such a thing, and that I could know someone who could have done it. I couldn't focus in all of my classes, and I felt that everyone just pitied me for the situation. So for 6 months after that, I left school and didn't do anything with my life, but go to college parties and hang out at the dorms to hide from reality. Then one day, my dad sat me down and he told me, hey, since you aren't going to school anymore, you should be ahead of your friends. Instead of just having a good time with them, why don't you be productive instead and pursue your dreams without school? I admit I thought he was talking nonsense at the time, but that whole conversation still resonates with me till this very day. Later that night, I told myself that I needed to get my act together for the next year. So I wrote 5 things on a piece of paper, and I accomplished all of them within a month. From finding a mentor, to photographing agency models, to traveling to 2 places that I've never been to getting another new camera, and to creating a photography online community. One thing that I learned is that nothing is real until you write it down somewhere. And that's what I did to be able to accomplish all of these things.
One fact about Joan you might not know. In the beginning of her art career, she was very confused and had no fucking idea what she was doing. And look at her now. She's a photographer, she has her space, and she knows what she's doing. So that's one thing you didn't know. She was completely lost in the beginning of her career, and she's found herself. And I love her for that.
At age 26, all I have right now are my mom and my younger sister. My dad, my grandparents, and even my ex-boyfriend are not alive anymore. And that's the thing. Life just keeps moving on even when you don't want it to.
So one fact about Joan Michel is that for as adventurous of a spirit as she is, she's actually hugely into family. It's very near and dear to her heart, and the kind of care she has for her own family and relatives clearly comes out in every single person that she works with.
When it comes to photography or anything that I create, in the end of the day, I want the viewer to see the different fragments of my life that resonate with me. I dedicate most of my work to my dad because even though he's not alive anymore, he was and will always be my #1 fan. A lot of people say that I have talent, they say I was born with it, but honestly, I don't think that way. I believe in hard work and determination gets you through everything in life.
Joan has the most initiative of anyone I know. She wants to start a magazine, she starts a magazine. She wants to get a studio, she gets her own studio. She wants to be a photographer, bam, she's publishing everywhere. she wants to work with someone, she reaches out. And I was lucky enough that she reached out to me, and she taught me a lot about reaching out to people and connecting with people, and that there's never any harm going out on a limb and just putting yourself out there and making connections with people that you wanted. So that's my sap. I'm gonna like sneak underneath the camera and give you a hug.
I would stay up all night looking at fashion editorials and cutting pictures out of magazines. I would listen to interviews while I go to sleep of people that I admired and wanted to meet. I would even cry because I knew I had a vision on how I wanted to work on a project and how badly I wanted it to come to life. Every day when I feel like I don't want to wake up, when I just want to disappear from the world, I have to battle my anxiety that's in my head. My work is what helps me cope. I also remind myself that my dad wouldn't want me to hide from the world. He would want me to rise and shine to the world, showcasing who I am. I always want people to feel loved, make them feel like they're a part of something, because I know how it feels like to feel left out and not feel wanted. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I believe that my mission statement in life is just to make people happy. If I can do that by just taking your photo and making you love yourself even more, I feel that I've accomplished my goal.